Today we're doing section 6.2, the law of cosines. So the formulas for the law of cosines are a little bit more separated than the law of sines. The law of sines is more of a proportion. The law of cosines is three distinct formulas. So the first one is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of angle A. The next one is b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac times cosine of angle B. And the third one is c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab times cosine of angle C. And the lowercase a, b, and c still stand for side lengths. Capital A, B, C stand for angles. So if you need to pause the video, take a moment and pause it. And we're going to discuss how to use the law of cosines. So the general rule is, so for the law of cosines, your first step is use the law of cosines to find the missing side based on the angle. So we'll say find missing side based on info. And when we do an example, you'll kind of understand what I mean by that. Step 2 is you use the law of sines, so what we've done all week long, to find the shorter side. And your shorter side is always going to be across from the smaller angle. So use the law of sines to find the shorter side. And then the third step, we know that there's 180 degrees in a triangle, so find remaining angle. So it's still not a difficult chapter. It's just you're pretty regimented using formulas. It's just this time you don't have the freedom to pick A versus B. You have to choose the shorter one for your second step. So for our first example, we have angle A is 60 degrees. Side B is 20 and side C is 30. So our missing information is side A, angle B, and angle C. So notice, based on the information given, I'm going to be forced to find side A. Notice law of sines is not an option here because I don't have a pair, and that's why we needed to introduce the law of cosines. I don't know the side that goes with any given angle, and I can't figure out any other given angles. So we need to use the formula. We're going to use that top one because we're trying to find A first because that's the angle we're given. So I have a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2b times c times cosine of 60 degrees. And now we're going to go in stages. So I know 20 squared is 400, 30 squared is 900, minus 2 times 2 times 3 would be 1200. And when I type cosine of 60 degrees in the calculator, I get 1/2. You could also think that cosine of 60 degrees is pi over 3. So like 60 degrees is pi over 3, so cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. You could also do it like that. Okay, so 400 plus 900 will give us 1,300. Half of 1200 is 600. And then I subtract them, and I'm left with 700. And the last thing I need to do to solve for a is take the square root of both sides. So we'll round to one decimal place for our side, and we get 26.5. So I found 26.5. So step one was to use the law of sines to find the missing side across from the given angle. So we did that. So now we need to move to step two, and step two said use the law of sines. So I'll do this up at the top. So it says use the law of sines to find your shortest angle. So your shortest angle is across from your shortest side. So this side right here is going to have the shorter angle. So we have to find B next. So now I have a pair. I have 26.5 over sine of 60 equals 20 over sine of angle B. So we're going to cross multiply. Again, I'm assuming we know how to do that calculation now. So I have sine of B equals 0.655. And then to get rid of sine, I take the inverse of sine. So for angle B, we would type the inverse of sine of 0.655. So we find that angle B is equal to 41 degrees. And the third step that I wrote on there was to now use your properties of triangles to find that remaining side, remaining angle. So I know it's 180 degrees, so I could say 60 plus 41 is 101 degrees. And when I subtract that from 180, can't seem to fit the zero there, it's supposed to say 180. When I subtract that 100 over, I get C equals 79 degrees. So at that point, we've now finished the triangle, and we found everything that's missing about it. So that's all for today. We'll pick up with this tomorrow.